Hello, everyone. Welcome. I have a new camera person, in fact, a camera woman, not my daughter. She's my niece, and her name is Elisabeth von Kempis. Where am I? I'm not in Berlin. I'm not in Eichwalde. I am in Bonn, and this time we're going to be cooking in Bonn. I'm just wondering, I'm going to ask my camera lady, how many are on board? 3, 4. Okay, you know what? For those of you, could you help my niece? Just write your name and say hello. It's just so that I know whether I should start or whether I should wait. That would be lovely. In future, I'm going to be just a little more professional and I will be able to see on the screen who's on board and who's not. But for now, we'll do it this way. And if you don't mind assisting me, just write down your name that you are on board. How about that? That would be lovely. All right, camera lady. One, and who, and what is her name or his name? Okay, can you write your name down? That would be lovely. Okay, we're going to be starting very, very soon. And camera lady, how many are there now? Lovely. Okay, so we are becoming a large crowd tonight, and that is lovely. And I'm going to now start. Welcome all of you. And we are, as I said before, we are not in Eichwalde or in Berlin. We are in Bonn at my sister's place. And the camera lady today is Elisabeth von Kempis, my niece. My sister has 5 children. All 4 were sent upstairs. They're a little smaller. And they're watching me live from upstairs. Okay, so we have the privilege today to be outside. And there's a very good reason why we chose, or I chose, together with my sister, to be outside. It's a dish called Muhammra, and you have seen this already advertised on my Facebook platform, on Bridges of Light, and on possibly other platforms. Muhammra is a typical Aleppo or Syrian dish. And in Syria, before the war, they ate outside predominantly because of the wonderful weather during the time. In other words, it's seasonal. And let me show you, I'm going to ask the camera lady to show us the grape wine growing. That's so typical of Aleppo area as well, or all of Syria most likely. And we decided to also have it outside because of the large number of herbs just behind my camera lady. All very, very symbolic of the dish that we are going to be preparing tonight. So all of you have a little bit of time, if you wish, to note down the recipe, either paper and pen, or your notebook, or your laptop, your computer. It's a very easy dish. Not only it's easy, but the combination is what makes it all. So absolutely typical for Aleppo: the walnuts, the spicy pepper, almonds, the red pepper, onions, garlic, chives, lots of herbs, and last but not least, we use a lot of pomegranate. Here we have the German version of it. It's a little different from the one used in Aleppo, and I'm going to substitute it, which is very similar to the raspberry syrup that we have here. All right, so let me start tonight. I'm going to, are you all ready? Are you all ready? Okay. I'm going to start by introducing myself because I don't know, there are lots of newcomers according to my camera lady. And for all the newcomers and for everyone, my name is Alexandra von Hahn. And you're going to wonder now, where is she from? I always have the same story, but it's a lovely story. My mother is Hungarian. My father is German Balt. They met each other as teenagers right after the Second World War, or soon after. They were very, very young. And they had me, and they had 2 additional children in Chile. They actually immigrated to Chile. They lived in Chile, and I went to the German-Spanish dual schools. And the 4th child, meaning my youngest sister, she was born in Canada because we immigrated to Canada. So if you hear any noises, you're going to be probably meeting some of the children who are coming along. Okay, I'm going to be doing the following. Are you all ready to cook? I'm going to start with the recipe. We're going to start with the paprika, the red paprika. 3 large size capsicum or red pepper. What we do, we just slice it. And you can keep the seeds if you wish to plant them and test if they actually grow or not. Some grow, some don't. I've pre-washed these capsicums and they're organic. Now, for all of you who are concerned about health and maintaining your health, I'm going to advocate very strongly, so if possible, of course, is to buy organic foods. For the very simple reason, it is healthy. You don't have to eat as much, and you have healthy food for you, for your family, for your friends. Just take care of your health. We are now in a very, very special time. It's not only Corona, but we have now reached the level or the era where we become very conscious and very aware of the fact what we eat, when we eat, and how much we eat. I'm just going to give a little sign to my other niece. Sweetie pie, you can stay there and watch, okay? You can sit there. Oh, thank you, sweetie. Oh, she's a sweetheart. You'll meet her later on if she wants to show herself or present herself. All right, we have all the capsicum here, and I'm going to attempt the following. Since I'm not at home, I'm trying a new machine, which is not mine, but we're going to attempt it, and let's hope it works. We're going to mix it first. We'll probably have to do it in 3 batches. It's going to be a little bit loud. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to add the oil first. And here we go. It's going to be 8 tablespoons. And I calculate these are about 8 tablespoons. I can always add a little more. Okay, and this should work. If it doesn't work, well, we'll have to come up with another idea. Okay, there we go. Oops, it's going to be a little loud. Sorry about that. We have pebbles, it's not dirt. Okay. It's coming along a little slower, but it's coming along. You'll see. Right, there we go. And we're also going to add just a little, we're going to help it now. We're going to help it with a little bit of water. There we go. Okay. Okay. And a little more. In fact, what we're doing is a dip. It's going to be a semi-liquid dip or a very dense dip. That depends on how many breadcrumbs we add, or I have a substitute instead of bread. Let's see. Okay, and my 3rd batch. There we go. There. And what we're going to do is also add at the same time walnuts. So we have 3 large capsicum or 3 large red peppers and about 100 grams or a little more than 100 grams, 120 grams of roasted buttered walnuts. And I'm going to explain to you in a minute how we do that. Okay. And here we go again. It's going to be a little bit loud. Okay, I think we're now approaching consistency. Yes, it's wonderful. A little liquid, but we still have to add all the other ingredients. I'm going to be adding onion. This is 1 onion. 1 onion. And we're going to be adding 2 cloves of garlic. And if you want more garlic, you can add a little more. There we go. There. And now my next. We're going to mix it again, and it's going to be loud. Okay. Now it's becoming thicker and thicker. You can see it's becoming slowly a dip. And now what we're going to add is breadcrumbs. You need 8 slices of toasted bread, any sort of bread. And I have here, instead of bread, I'm using almond meal. So much better. And for those of you who are gluten intolerant, perfect recipe. Okay, I'm adding the equivalent of about 8 toasted slices of bread. Only the equivalent. We're adding almond meal or grated almonds, which you can do at home. You don't have to buy the expensive almond meal. You can actually mix it yourself in a stand-up mixer or in a coffee mill. It's wonderful. Okay, I'm going to have to mix it a little bit with my fork. There we go. We're almost there. Now we're going to be adding a little more of the almond meal, just to thicken it up a bit. Under normal circumstances, I would not add water, but our machine required the water. So I'm adding a little more than required as far as the breadcrumbs are concerned, which it doesn't matter, it doesn't change the flavor. But you may have a different stand-up mixer, and you may not need the water at all. The oil is absolutely important, yes. And there we go, we can mix it this way first. Here we go. And I'm going to mix it again. Okay, one more time with my fork. And what we're going to need, now we're going to add the salt. Well, let's add a little more of the meal. We have more, so why don't we use it? Now the whole almonds, I'm going to try to use them for decoration. I'm going to put a few of them in there. And when you decorate it, you can decorate it any way you want it. Now, we need a bit of hot pepper. Now, this is going to be also up to you. If you don't want hot pepper, normally harissa is used. I could not find harissa anymore. We're completely out of stock here in the city of Bonn. I tried, I couldn't find. So I'm using hot jalapeno. Now, I'm using just a smudging. The recipe requires 1 tablespoon of harissa, which is very, very hot. So it's going to be entirely up to you if you want it very mild. And the amount that I put in, which is about 1/4 of a teaspoon, is just going to elevate the flavor. It's not going to make it spicy as such. You really need a 1/2 teaspoon to make it spicy, to 1 teaspoon, although in this recipe is required is 1 whole tablespoon. Here we have about 1/2 teaspoon of salt. You could always add a little more, not too much, but you can add a little more. And to intensify the flavor, we're going to go with here about 1 to 2 tablespoons. There we go. 2 tablespoons of tomato concentrate, also organic. It's such a wonderful, it's a completely different flavor, by the way, especially from this company here in Germany, from Rewe. They have a wonderful, wonderful organic tomato concentrate. Now, I'm going to attempt to mix it. If it doesn't mix, it's quite full, then I'm going to mix it with the fork. All right, we're going to try. Okay, let's see. No, it didn't mix, so I'm going to have to mix it with the fork. Okay, let's just see if I can mix it. At home, you all know that I have the large machine, and it's a powerful machine. And for those of you who have a stand-up mixer, I would suggest that you start with half the recipe first, or if you have a Vitamix or a Blendtec, then you can throw everything in. It'll actually mix in such a way that you will not need the water, the addition of water. Okay, one more attempt, and let's hope it works. Okay, I'm going to cover it. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to just wipe my hands so it will look all right. Okay, now what we're going to be doing with this is a wonderful, delicious dip. I'm going to move some of these items here, and I'm going to bring my plate, my platter, my sister's silver platter, which is beautiful. And I brought the roses also from Eichwalde. In fact, I'm going to explain to you a little bit. We have the Indian roses, these large ones. They're a little paler in color. Actually, these two here and this one. The other smaller ones that are concentrated, very strong violet color, they're from Morocco, and their flavor is far more intense. And I would strongly suggest, if you can, if you'd like to buy the roses, try to buy them in order to order them from either Amazon or from a tea shop that has the roses, or from Indian shops if you want to buy the Indian roses. They're beautiful too. And if you can, they're more expensive. Yes, they are. It's organic Moroccan roses. Absolutely delicious. How are they eaten? They're eaten in many different ways. Hot water on top, or to decorate, or you simply remove the petals one by one, and you can decorate your cake, you can decorate the dip, anything you want, and you eat it. They're all very edible. Okay, now I'm going to attempt to remove the dip. There are some whole pieces of almond inside. Now, for those of you who are making it at home, your dip will be a little bit thicker. It should hold the shape, and by tomorrow, because I did not add the bread, I only added almond meal, and the almond meal gives it a much better flavor than bread, but that's going to be also up to you. You can test it at home, which one you would prefer. You can either use regular bread, or you can use gluten-free bread as long as you toast it, or you can use almond meal the way I do it. This is how the family loves it. All right, I'm just going to shape it. And at home, when you are shaping it, it'll be a little less liquid. That's absolutely for sure. Unless you're using almond meal, then it will be more or less this consistency, more or less. Now try to make a mount here, just a little mountain. There we go. And we'll round it up. There we go. And now the question is how do we present it? Every dish in the Middle East and in the Gulf area is there to present it. In other words, to give the honor to the guest, to honor the family, to honor the one who created the dish. So it is often displayed in such a way on a very nice platter. In this case, I chose the silver. You can choose any platter that you wish, and you can decorate it. It's so much fun. And for any of you who are still in quarantine, or who are alone at home, or with the family, or are still suffering perhaps under Corona or COVID-19, and if you're able to cook, try to cook something. Try to cook something like this. This is very easy. You don't have to really cook it, but it's almost without cooking, with the exception of the walnuts, which were roasted in butter very shortly until the fragrance in fact comes to the surface. And try to share the recipes with everyone. Try to share the recipes by a phone, by a mobile, your laptop, your computer. It's a beautiful way of sharing what you've learned with someone else, and you can make an appointment and say, let's meet online or virtual, and let's eat together. You can Zoom in, which means you can Zoom your friends, and you can all cook together. This is an absolutely wonderful way of sharing recipes that you may not have ever made before. It's very, very simple. I've given you the recipe, and you can half the recipe or quarter the recipe, or you can also freeze it. It's not a problem. Now let's start decorating it. I'm going to take a tomato. It's a freshly washed tomato. I'm going to place it here. And since the main concentration here are walnuts inside, I'm going to just decorate it just around it, so that the guest will know, or the family will know, that there are walnuts inside. There, 2. Let's decorate a little more. And these are the almonds that were roasted in butter. Or if you are vegan, then you can use your vegan butter, or you can use oil. That's not a problem. Now I used clarified butter, which is what I prefer. Or you can use milk butter, regular butter. And we're almost done with the walnuts. Now, if you don't like walnuts, you can replace or substitute the entire dish with almonds. You don't have to choose walnuts, although it's in the original recipe. But if you're allergic, then you can use almonds. Okay, now we're going to proceed with our tomato. I just have to find my sharp knife, which is here. And let's cut a few slices. And again, you can attempt to decorate it perhaps this way, 2 on this side. You can decorate it any way you want it. And this is the lovely part. You can do it this way. And we're going to use rosemary. And put it on the side, together with basil, freshly cut basil from the garden, my sister's garden, which is absolutely exquisite. And with a little bit of fresh mint. And you can put it on this side here. You can decorate it, as I said, any way you wish. And then with the roses, which is lovely. You can put it into the middle. You can drop them. Drop them this way. And now I'm going to show you how it's also done. You can simply squish the petals. They're lovely color. Look at this. The petals are so lovely. And you just drop them casually just along here. Now we have winds. It may just blow it all away. I hope not. And we're going to squish another rose petal. See, they're a little browner. Those are the Indian roses. But you have to be just careful. The brown part you leave. Actually, it's all brown. We're not going to use that one. We're going to use this one here. Let's hope that one is better. Yes, this is lovely. Look at this. The brown part here we can leave. And lovely, lovely rose petals. The rose petals also give a flavor on their own, and they have a beautiful fragrance. And I wish you could actually smell it. It would be lovely. Now, what else comes here? We're going to put a few almonds, because we didn't use bread, we used almonds. So what we can do is decorate it with peeled almonds. Any way you want it, the point up, point down, as you wish. And then you can put just a little here, just a highlight, and another little highlight here, there. Now, I'm going to just clean up here this area. I'm going to display this to you. This is the lovely Muhammra dish. And now you're going to ask yourself, how is it eaten? Aha. Now look what I have prepared. I have prepared Italian ciabatta bread, which I toasted. I spread clarified butter. No, actually I used the regular butter with chives and a lot of garlic, and then roasted it again. So double roasting, toasted and roasting. What's normally done. And what happened to my oil? Ah, here it is. Now this is the whole idea. You dip the roasted ciabatta or the bread that of your choice into the oil, which is infused with chives. It has the flavor already. Or you can infuse it with onion or garlic, as I have done as well. Double garlic. Okay, and now we dip into it. Okay. Now I'm going to attempt to eat it. Should I taste it for you? It'd be lovely. All right. I'll try without getting it all over my blouse. Lovely. Exquisite. If you want, You could, sorry, I said before the amount of salt, which I used very little because the family doesn't like the salt that much. But in your case, add a little more salt. And as I mentioned before also, if your stand-up mixer cannot take it, just add a little water and then add more bread or more almond meal. And you will see the result at home will be a little different than what you've seen today, unless you're using almond meal. If you're using the bread, it'll be just a little more substantial and you can shape it with your hands. And you can add a whole lot more hot pepper or hot jalapeno if you wish. The family doesn't like it. I like it. I would add a little more for myself on my bread, but it's just a question of taste. So with this thought in mind, I'm going to ask you all to be absolutely mindful and enjoy this recipe at home and share it with others. We are in a very special time, and that time will not end tomorrow. And I don't mean Corona or COVID-19. That's not what I mean. We have entered a completely new time, which is in fact asking us to be more respectful, more loving, and to enjoy our lives. It may mean that we cut many other aspects of our lives away and will be reduced. We may not have as much money anymore, that's quite true, or be the owner of possessions such as cars or houses and so on. But the idea is to focus on happiness and joy. And that is what we are here for. And we're beginning to realize this more and more. And with this thought in mind, it was the same thing. It reflects in the Muhammra. Muhammra is purely natural, organic, nothing chemical inside here. We are in a garden. We grew most of it, not all of it. We didn't grow the nuts here. But you can acquire or you can find organic vegetables in many, many places, and even farmers would love you to come and visit them, and you can buy it for a whole lot less than at the store itself. So I'm going to ask my niece to focus on me now. I think she is, yes, okay. And with this thought in mind, thank you so much for coming on board, and enjoy cooking. And I'll be seeing you next Thursday, most likely in Bonn, perhaps here, we'll see. It'll be a surprise for you. Thank you very much, and goodbye. Take care.